Okay, slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, as I told you in the last class, this is the first session of the surface session, and it is the continuation of the first session. So, before starting today's session, I would like to remind what we have discussed in the previous session, right? So, in this session, we are going to discuss about what are called molecular forces. We'll be talking of types of molecular forces. We'll be talking of surface tension, and we'll be discussing about what is called angle of contact. And then what are the learning objectives? The learning objectives are we want to know what are the molecular forces and how many types of molecular forces are there, and what exactly we mean by surface tension, and what is the meaning of angle of contact. So these are the learning objectives of this session. So then what are the session outcomes? So at the end of the session, we should be able to know what are molecular forces, the types of molecular forces, what is the meaning of surface tension, and the meaning of angle of contact. Then, so now we'll start with the surface tension introduction. So this is what we have discussed in the last class. So you can see whenever you see a liquid drop during a rainy season, we see that it is always spherical in nature, and the reason for this we said it is surface tension. So the fundamental property of any liquid is that it always tries to have what is known as a spherical shape. Why spherical shape? Because any liquid always tries to have what is known as a minimum surface area. So for a given volume, for a given geometry, the surface area will be minimum only for spherical shape. As a result, always liquids try to have the spherical surface in order to achieve what is called minimum surface area. Then, so I said, they behave like a what is called a stretched membrane. In order to achieve the minimum surface area, the liquid will be having what is called a behaving like a stretched membrane. So in order to have a stretched membrane shape, they occupy what is known as the spherical surface. So what is basically a surface tension? It is the tension or the pressure or the force on a surface of a liquid surface. So since there is a pressure on a liquid surface, always the liquids try to have a spherical shape. As you can see in this case, the soap bubbles, they will be always spherical in nature because they want to have minimum surface area. As a result, they occupy a spherical shape. Whether it's a small or a big, they always occupy a spherical shape because they want to have a minimum surface area, right? So you can see here clearly the liquids are having a spherical shape. The reason is again the concept of the phenomenon of surface tension. This we have discussed in the last class. So again, the case of a, a soap bubble solution where we see that the liquids are always trying to occupy the spherical shape, and we have seen the example of some bugs easily walking on the surface of water. Why they are able to do that? Because this complete liquid surface acts like a stretched elastic membrane. Since it acts like a stretched elastic membrane, the bugs can easily walk on the surface of a liquid. Why this behaves like a stretched elastic membrane? Because the liquid tries to have minimum surface area. As a result, it behaves like a stretched elastic membrane. So therefore, the bugs can easily walk on the surface of a liquid surface. And this is one example of a liquid drop which is placed on a waterproof material. So it is having a perfect spherical shape. This is the case of liquid on a glass table. The small ones are having a perfect spherical shape. As the size increases, it spreads on the glass. We'll discuss why it spreads on the glass material. And then we will discuss this. A pin or a clip on a water surface always tries to, it just floats on the water surface. even though its density is large, it's made up of a steel. You can see this is made up of a steel. Even though it's made up of a steel, even though its density is large than that of the water, but still it tries to float on the surface of a water. The reason is this water surface acts like a stretched elastic membrane. Therefore, the needle can easily float on the surface of a water. Therefore, it is due to surface tension. Then this we have discussed. The last drop of a water coming from the a tap is always trying to occupy a spherical shape. This is again due to the surface tension phenomena. The liquid tries to have the minimum surface area. As a result, they are going to be always spherical in nature. Then this is the case of a mercury drop. As you can see, the smaller ones are perfectly spherical. As the surge increases, they are going to be elongated in this shape. That is due to what? Due to the larger mass. As the mass increases due to gravity, this will be pulled down. So they take the shape of an elongated spherical surface, whereas the smaller ones are having the perfectly spherical shape due to surface tension. And again, this is the same scenario. The smaller ones are having perfectly spherical shape. The bigger ones are going to be an elongated one due to the more force due to the gravity, because the mass of these are very large, because the mercury is a highly dense material. So as the mass increases, the gravitational force increases. Therefore, this will be pulled down. As a result, it is going to be an elongated spherical shape. So all these effects are due to surface tension. And the question is, what is surface tension is all about, right? Then we say that in order to understand a surface tension, we have to have the knowledge of some of the definitions. Now we'll try to understand what are these definitions are all about, right? So till this slide we have discussed in the last class. Now from here onwards, we'll try to understand all the concepts in detail. Next, right? So we have two types of forces. There is a force called cohesive force. So what are cohesive forces? The forces of attraction between the molecules of the same substance are what are called as cohesive forces. So what are cohesive forces? They are the forces of attraction between the molecules of same substance. This is very important. What it means, if you look at the examples, if you take the forces between the two water molecules, when you say a liquid drop of water, so that liquid drop of water contains n number of water molecules, H2O molecules. So if you take between any two water molecules, there is going to be always a force of attraction. That force of attraction between the two water molecules, we call it as what is known as cohesive force. So because since both are water molecules, they are of the same substance, therefore we call it as a cohesive force. Similarly, if you take the force between two mercury molecules, again it is going to be cohesive force. If you take the force between two alcohol molecules, it is going to be a cohesive force. So as long as you are considering the same substance, that substance contains n number of molecules, there is going to be a force of attraction between those molecules. Such force we call it as what is known as cohesive forces. So this is one type of molecular force, what is called cohesive force. Then you can see here, this is shown with help of a diagram. What we have in this glass beaker, we have what is called as water. So this is the water. So water contains what? It contains n number of water molecules. These are all the water molecules. So these are all the water molecules. As you can see, between any two water molecules, there is a force of attraction between these two, between these two, between these two, between these two. There is going to be a force of attraction. Because of this force of attraction, the water will be bounded. It is bound together in the form of a liquid. As you can see clearly here, this is one water molecule H2O. This is one more water molecule H2O. One more water molecule. One more water molecule. One more water molecule. So between these two water molecules, we have what are called these hydrogen bonds. So there is a hydrogen bonding between the two, and these two molecules are held together with the help of the hydrogen bond. Means what? There is some kind of interaction force or attraction force between the water molecules. So this kind of force, we call it as what is called cohesive force, right? Then We have one more type of force, what is called adhesive force. What is called adhesive forces. So what are adhesive forces? It is the force of attraction between the molecules of different substances. So when you take two different substances, again there is going to be a force of attraction between the two. That force of attraction between the two different types of molecules, we call it as what is known as adhesive forces. As examples, if you take the case of force between water and glass molecules, it is when you say you are having a water in a beaker, there is going to be always force of attraction between the water molecules and the glass molecules at the boundary of the water glass media. So there is a force of attraction between water and glass molecules. They are of two different types. When you take the gum and the paper, most of the times we use the gum to stick the papers, right? To pack the papers. So means what? There is going to be a force of attraction between the gum and paper molecules. Gum is one type, paper is another type, two different types of molecules. Again, when you take the case of a chalk and a blackboard, when you write something on the blackboard, it is clearly visible, and that whatever you use, if you use a white color chalkboard, it is sticking to the blackboard. Means what? There is going to be a force of attraction between the chalk and blackboard molecules, again of two different types of molecules. Again, if you take the case of the force of attraction between cement and wall, we use cement for construction purpose, right? So what is the application here? There is going to be a force of attraction between the cement and wall, or in other words the brick and the cement. So two different types of materials and two different types of molecules. So we find there is going to be a force of attraction between them. What are these forces? The adhesive forces. Again, in many cases we use Fevicol to stick to some plastic molecules or some other type of molecules. Most of the cases we use Fevicol, right? So what is the reason for that? So there is a force of attraction between these Fevicol and plastic molecules, or whichever material we are using to stick the by using the Fevicol. So there is a force of attraction between the two different types of molecule. So all these force of attractions are what are called adhesive forces, force of attraction between different substances, right? So this is about adhesive forces. Then see here, you can see to show with the help of a diagram. So in the beaker I have water. When you say water, what is that? It is a H2O molecule. So this if you take only this H2O molecule, between these two there is a cohesive force. There is a cohesive force, right? Whereas this water is coming in contact with the what? Coming in contact with the glass surface. So means what? When you remove this water, you can see that some amount of water is going to be sticking to this glass surface, or in other words, the glass surface is going to be wetted by this water. What it means? It means that there is some kind of force of attraction between this water molecule and that of the glass molecule. So water is one type, glass is other type, right? So this is an example of what is called adhesive force, right? Yeah, you can see here. So when I say it is a cohesion, cohesion is what? When it sticks to another water molecule. So force of attraction between two water molecules, as it is shown here. One water molecule, another water molecule, there is a hydrogen bonding. Due to this hydrogen bonding, they are attracted to each other. So there is a hydrogen bonding between the two water molecules. That is what is called cohesive force, and the process we call it as what is known as cohesion. Then what is adhesion or adhesive force? We say it is the force of attraction between two different types of molecules. As you can see here, what we have H2O molecule. Here what we have, this is the NH3 molecule. So this is NH3 and H2O. This is one type, this is another type. So again, these two molecules are bound together with the help of what is called this hydrogen bond. So there is a force of attraction between two different types of molecules, right? So this kind of attraction we call it what is known as adhesive forces, and such phenomena we call it what is known as adhesion, right? So this is cohesion, this is adhesion. Then yeah, you can see here. So here what we have here in this first case, we have taken a test tube. In a test tube we have taken the water. In this case we have taken a test tube and we have taken the mercury, right? So you can see this is shown in a large graph here. So if you take only this, water, you can see here. If you take only the water molecules, this part. So if you take only the water molecules between water to water, water to water, water to water, what we have? We have H2O to H2O cohesive forces, molecules of same type. And at this boundary layer, and this between this water, there is going to be interaction between H2O and glass molecules. So it is a adhesive force, right? Here, H2O and glass molecule. The same way, you can take this, beaker test tube with a mercury. So if you take only this mercury molecules, mercury and mercury, what is the kind of force? Cohesive force. And if you take this, mercury and this border of this glass, it is going to be a force of attraction between, in this case, the mercury and that of the glass molecules. You can see mercury and glass molecules. So what kind of force it is? Adhesive force. So there is a cohesive force and there is a adhesive force. You can see cohesive forces are the forces that bind similar molecules. Adhesive forces are the forces that bind a substance to a surface, two different types of molecules, right? Then this is one more example of the cohesive forces and adhesive forces in nature. As you can see here, so this part we call it as a cohesion. What is that? H2O stick to other H2O molecules. You can see there is a force of attraction between H2O and H2O. So where it is useful? It is useful in transpiration of water. As we all know, that the plants, they absorb water from the root of the plant. So whenever the water molecules goes here, entire plant there is something called capillary action. Through that capillary action, the water molecules will be flowing in that capillary. But again, what is there inside? Inside, when the water is flowing in a capillary, there is a force of attraction between water and water molecule, one water molecule and other water molecule, that is water and water molecule. So it is due to this water and water molecule interaction, the water is held together and it is flowing inside the, the whatever we call the stem or the capillary of the entire part of the plant, right? And then that is not only the case. So when this water is moving along with this stem or capillary of this plant, there is one more kind of interaction. What is that? It is water molecule is interacting with the non-water molecules. What is that? You can see here. This is a water molecule. This is a leaf. Here you can see this is a water molecule and this is the stem or that capillary part of that tree or that plant. So this water molecule is interacting with this the stem part or the capillary part of the plant. So this is a force of attraction of two different types, what is called adhesion. Between this water and water, it is cohesion, right? So again, here when it comes to the leaf part, there is a water molecule and a leaf molecule. So two different molecules. This is what is called adhesion force. So like this, in nature, there are going to be two different types of forces. One is cohesion, one is adhesion, right? Yeah. So you can see here. So what we have here, we have a glass plate. On this a liquid drop is kept. So this is a liquid drop. So as you can see, there is what is called a cohesive force, is the force of attraction between the two water molecules. Means here you have a number of water molecules, and that is called what is called cohesive force. So this cohesive force causes fluids to form a round shape where the molecule can be as closely packed as possible. So we say the round shape of this liquid drop is due to what? Is due to cohesive force. It is because of this cohesive force between the two molecules of water. They are always held together. As a result, the shape of a liquid is going to be spherical in nature. We'll discuss that in detail in the next slide. And whereas you can see here, there is what is called adhesive force. What is adhesive force? You can see at this corner, this is a water molecule, this is a glass molecule. So adhesive force are the forces which attract the water molecule to other surface, causing them to stick. So between these two, there is a force of attraction. As a result, it can hold this water molecule with help of the glass surface, right? So this is about the cohesive force and adhesive forces. Yeah, so you can see one more scenario here. So what I have here, I have a beaker. In this beaker, I have taken water. I have one more beaker. Here I have taken mercury. If you observe here, one interesting thing, whenever you take water in a test tube, if you observe this area, the upper layer, this area is going to be always what is called concave in nature. I hope you might have observed these things in your while doing a chemistry laboratory. You take a test tube, you take some water in it, and if you observe this upper layer of this water, this is going to be always concave in nature. Concave means what? Bulged inside. So we get this kind of. So here it is going to be this shape. So it is what is called concave shape. Whereas if you take the same test tube and if you put mercury in that, we are going to get what is called a convex meniscus. What is a convex? It is like this, bulged outward. This is bulged inward. This is bulged outward. So this we call it as convex. This we call it as concave. Then the question is why the water is taking the shape of a concave shape and why the mercury is taking the shape of convex shape. What is the reason behind this? Let's try to understand the first case, the case of a water in a test tube, and what is the reason for this concave shape. Here we have water molecules, right? So between these water molecules, there is what is called a force of cohesion. So here we have force of cohesion. Then the same water molecules are interacting with the glass surface also. At this boundary, they are interacting with the glass surface. So here there is what is called adhesive force. Between the glass and water, there is a adhesive force. It is found that in case of glass and water combination, if you take a pair of glass and water, the force of adhesive force, or you can call it as the adhesive force is greater than cohesive force. The adhesive force is greater than cohesive force for a combination of what? For a combination of glass and mercury. So for a pair of two different types of materials, one is glass, one is water, it is found that the adhesive force, what is that? The force of attraction between the glass and water, adhesive force is always greater than the cohesive force. As a result, what happens? The water molecules which are present here, which are near the glass surface, these water molecules are attracted towards this glass surface. Why? Because we say adhesive force is more than cohesive force. As a result, the water molecules which are nearby here will be attracted towards the glass surface here. Similarly, the water molecules will be attracted towards the glass surface here. As a result, the water molecules are raised a little bit towards the glass surface. Why? This force is more than the cohesive force inside. Therefore, the water molecules at this boundary are going to be attracted more towards the glass. As a result of this, what we get? We get a concave shape here like this, because some of the water molecules are raised to a level higher than that of the original level. This is because of the adhesive forces are larger than that of the cohesive force for a combination of glass and water pair. Then what we have here, in this case, we have what is called the glass and what is the other one? It is the mercury. So we have a pair of glass and mercury. So when you take a pair of glass and mercury, it is found that in this pair, the so-called cohesive force, is always greater than adhesive force. The cohesive force is greater than adhesive force. What it means? Where is the cohesive force? That is here. We have n number of mercury molecules here, right? So it is found that between the mercury molecules, there is a force of attraction, the molecules of same type. So this cohesive force is found to be always greater than that of the adhesive force. Where is adhesive force? Between this mercury and this boundary of glass, between this mercury and the boundary of this glass. So due to this large cohesive force of mercury, what happens? These mercury molecules, there will be n number of molecules here at the boundary, right? Here and here at the border. So these molecules which are at the border, they are pulled inside. No, these molecules are pulled inside because of what? Because the force of attraction between the mercury molecules is large than that of this force of attraction between the mercury and glass molecule. As a result of this inner pulling force of these molecules here, as well as the inner pulling force of these mercury molecules towards inside. So all the molecules are always pulled inside. They're all pulled inside. As a result of this, what happens? This shape of the mercury inside this test tube is going to be what? It is going to be a shape like this. It is going to take a convex shape. A convex shape. So what is the reason? The cohesive force of mercury is large than that of the adhesive force. So here it is, the adhesive force is large than that of the cohesive force. So this is the reason behind the concave shape of a water, the convex shape of a mercury in a test tube, right? Okay, next. These are some difference between the cohesive and adhesive forces. You can see we say cohesion is the force of attraction between the molecules of the same substance, that we know. It is for a different substance, one important difference. And we say this is an intermolecular attraction and intramolecular attraction. I think this is a cohesive force is the intramolecular attraction, and this is the intermolecular attraction. And here we say this involves the van der Waals force of attraction and hydrogen bonding. This involves electrostatic force of attraction and also involves the so-called hydrogen bonding. And then the formation of water droplets on the surface of surface tension of a liquid is due to the spherical shape of a liquid drop is due to what? Due to cohesive forces, whereas the spreading of a liquid on the solid surface is due to what? Adhesive forces. What it means, I showed you in the earlier slide, when you put water drop on a glass surface, if the volume of the water drop is more, what happens? It just spreads like this. The water drop spreads on the glass surface. Why? Because it is found that the adhesive force between the water and glass molecule is large. As a result, there is attraction between this water molecule and the glass molecule. So the water tries to occupy as much as the glass surface. It tries to occupy as much as the glass surface. As a result, the water spreads on the glass surface because of its large adhesive force between the water and glass molecule in this case, right? Then, right. So there are some products corresponding to cohesive forces and adhesive forces in market. This is a product corresponding to cohesive force. You can see this is what is called a cohesive bandage. You can see here what is called a cohesive bandage. So what is this first aid cohesive bandage? This is made up of some type of material. This bandage is used whenever there is you go for orthopedic doctor, there is some crack in your leg or hand, there is some cracks. They put this material, they take a round shape of this material to your hand. Let's say this is your hand. Let's say there is some crack here. What they do, they apply this tape round and round and round and round. So when you apply this tape in n number of rounds, what happens? Between each layer of this bandage, there is a force of attraction because of the same material. So there is no need of any extra gum. Okay. So there is no need of any extra pasting material. It sticks to itself automatically. So what is the reason for that? Why it sticks automatically? Because there is a kind of force of attraction between the same type of molecule. The same roll is
Your voice
rolled
is
again.
breaking.
1 second. Is it clear now? Hello? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Okay. So due to this force of attraction between this same type of material, this stick to itself. There is no separate extra taping required here. This is one
No,
type of. Not clear? Hello, is it clear now? Is it okay? Hello? Am I audible? Hello?
yes, sir.
It's clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then, so we have some products which are corresponding to adhesive forces that are called adhesive products. Now in the market you have seen that we have something called a Fevistick, we have something called a M-Seal, we have something called a Fevikwik, right? You have this Fevicol, paint. There are so many products available in the market which are all the products corresponding to the adhesive force. So they have got some kind of attraction force. Because of that, they can easily stick two materials together. So the main reason is what? The reason is that is the adhesive force. So these are all the products corresponding to adhesive forces. Then, so we have something called a molecular range. One important definition, what is called molecular range. So what is molecular range? So molecular range is the maximum distance up to which a molecule can exert some measurable force on the other molecules. So what is molecular range? Molecular range is the maximum distance up to which a molecule can exert some measurable force on the other molecules. What it means? Look at this diagram here. So let's say, for example, this is the water in a beaker, right? So let's say I have a water molecule here at the center, right? And I have one more water molecule here. Then, so what is the distance? What is the distance up to which this molecule can exert some kind of attraction force on this molecule? So if you have one water molecule here, and if you have another water molecule here, so the distance between these two, such a way that this molecule is capable of exerting some force on this molecule, or this molecule is capable of exerting some force on this molecule. So that particular distance where one molecule can exert some kind of attraction force on the other molecule, that distance we call it as what is known as molecular range. We call it as molecular range. And we say that this molecular range is different for different substances, and the order of the molecular range is of the order of 10 raised to minus 9 meter, of the order of 10 raised to minus 9 meter. Then we have something called sphere of influence. So what is sphere of influence? It is an imaginary sphere drawn with a molecule as a center and molecular range as radius, and all the molecules within the sphere attract the molecule at the center and vice versa. What it means? Let's take this example. Let's say I have a water molecule here at the center, right? Then let's say I have one water molecule here, one water molecule here, one water molecule here, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, right? What is this distance corresponds to? This distance corresponds to the molecular range. So by taking this as the central molecule, by taking this as the molecular range, if we join all these water molecules, what I get? I get an imaginary line. So this imaginary line, which joins all these molecules, we call it as what is known as sphere of influence. Sphere of influence. So what it is? It is an imaginary sphere drawn with a molecule as center and molecular range as radius. Then all the molecules within the sphere attract the molecule at the center and vice versa. What it means? So once you have a sphere of influence, then this molecule is attracted by all the surrounding molecules, or in other words, all these molecules are attracted by the central molecule, or the central molecule is attracted by these surrounding molecules. Means there is some kind of interaction or attraction between all these molecules as long as they are inside this sphere of influence. So if we say this is the central molecule, if we say this is the sphere of influence, then if you take a molecule outside the sphere of influence, there is no molecular interaction between these two, because this molecule is now outside the sphere of influence. So as long as they are inside this sphere of influence, there is always going to be a force of attraction between this molecule from center to this, or from outside to center. So that is what is called sphere of influence, right? So we defined the molecular range and we defined sphere of influence. Next, we have one more definition, what is called surface film. Surface film. So what is surface film? It is the topmost layer. It is the topmost layer of the liquid at rest with a thickness equal to the molecular range. Means it is the topmost layer of the liquid at rest with a thickness equal to molecular range. Now in the diagram you can see here, this one, it is shown by this layer. The top, you can see this is the topmost layer, right? If you take a particular thickness of R, that is from here to here, what is this distance? This distance is nothing but the molecular range, right? So from the topmost layer, if we take a molecular range distance, then the layer from here to here, the layer from here to here is taken as what is called surface film. Surface film. So we say it is the topmost layer of the liquid at rest with thickness equal to molecular range. So this distance from here to here of molecular range, we take it as what is known as surface film, right? Then, so all the terms discussed so far are related to surface tension. Then the final question is, what is surface tension? What is surface tension is all about, right? So let's come to the definition of a surface tension. So before going for this, I told you in the last class, just look at this word surface tension. We know what is surface now, surface of a liquid, right? What is the tension? Tension means some kind of force, some kind of pressure, right? So in simple terms, some kind of pressure, some kind of force is exerting on the surface of a liquid. It is this pressure or it is this force which is making the liquid to take the shape of a sphere. Why? Because liquids always try to occupy minimum surface area. Minimum surface area. So when they try to occupy the minimum surface area, the surface of the liquid is going to be stretched. If we take this is the liquid surface, this liquid surface is going to be stretched in all the direction. It will be stretched in all the direction. So once it is stretched in all the direction, it is going to be what is called a stretched elastic membrane. Stretched elastic membrane, right? Means what? There is a force on all the directions on this liquid surface. So there is some kind of pressure, some kind of force on this surface of a liquid. Due to this force, what is called surface tension, the molecules always tries to occupy what is. So how to define it? We say surface tension is defined as the tension of the surface film of a liquid caused by the attraction of the particles in the surface layer by the bulk of the liquid, which tends to minimize the surface area. What it means? You have a beaker, this is a beaker, and we have water molecules here. Right? And there are molecules inside also. So between the surface molecules, there is some kind of a stretching force. Not only that, between this surface molecules and the molecules inside, there is some kind of inward force. These are the bulk material molecules. These are the surface molecules. So there is a force of stretching force on the surface and force inside. As a result of this, the molecules tries to occupy what is called a spherical shape. So we say it is due to the phenomena of a surface tension that the drops of water tend to assume a spherical shape. The spherical shape of a liquid is due to what? Due to the surface tension phenomena. What is the reason for that? Because the liquid tried to occupy minimum surface area. Then the very important question is why the liquids are trying to have this minimum surface area. Now we all know that from all this discussion, the spherical shape is due to the so-called pressure on the surface of a liquid, because they try to occupy the minimum surface area. But the million-dollar question is why the liquids want to have this minimum surface area. That is a big question, right? What is the reason for that? Why they want to have minimum surface area, right? If we understand that, we will understand clearly what exactly we mean by surface tension. As of now, we know what is the definition of surface tension. So this is one more definition of surface tension. We say it is the force acting per unit length at a right angles to an imaginary line which is drawn on the surface of liquid is called surface tension. What is the meaning of this definition? That is, you have a beaker, you have this liquid in this beaker, and let's say there are n number of water molecules on the surface here, right? Then we define surface tension as the force acting per unit length at right angles to an imaginary line, right? So let's say this is the I'm taking from this, I'm taking a small area of the surface where I want to find out the surface tension. So for that, what I do, I take this particular area, right? You take that area, you draw an imaginary line. Let's say this is an imaginary line. Then what this imaginary line does, it separates the molecules on this side and the molecules on this side, right? It is found that there is the molecules on this side, they pull this imaginary line to this side. The molecules on this side, they pull this imaginary line to this side. Means there is some kind of pulling force which is acting opposite to each other on either side. So this is pulled on this side, 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 right? So this pulling force is acting right angle to this line. This is perpendicular to this line, and also this is perpendicular, this is tangential. This force is tangent to the surface. So if this is the surface, this force is tangent to this surface, and no, this force is tangent to this surface, and we say if you take a particular length of 1 meter, let's say this of 1 meter, then what is the force acting on this 1 meter length of surface? The force per unit length, you can see this is the force per unit length. The force per unit, the force acting on 1 meter of this surface, we call it as what is called as surface tension. So we say the force acting per unit length at right angles to an imaginary line which drawn on the surface of a liquid is known as surface tension. So we have the surface of a liquid, you take a 1 meter length of that surface, and we know that the forces are acting along this surface. So we calculate what is the total force, what is the total force acting on this surface per 1 meter length. 1 meter length. If you calculate that, that gives you what is known as surface tension. What is the SI unit of this? The SI unit is Newton per meter. Force is Newton, length is meter. So Newton per meter is the SI unit of surface tension. So this is one very important definition of surface tension. Now here we have to understand the final question. Final question, that is why they are trying to occupy minimum surface area. As a result of this, the molecules are having a spherical shape. As a result of this, the liquids are always always are found to be spherical in nature. So now we have to understand what is the reason for this minimum surface area. I think this we will discuss in the next class. What is the reason for this? It takes a long time. We'll discuss it in the next class. By that, we'll get the clear knowledge of surface tension. So at this moment, I will stop here. And if you have any questions, I will take your questions. So if you have any questions, you can talk to me. Yes, any questions? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆನಾ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Any questions in your mind? Probably once I explain that reason for minimum surface area, the next class, then you get the clear knowledge of surface tension. I'm going a bit slow because you have to have the clear knowledge of concepts of surface tension. The rest is all easy part. There are some derivations, there are some equations, all those things that can be understood very easily. But you have to understand first the concept of surface tension very clearly. Right? That's why I'm going a bit slow. Make the concepts very, very clear to you. Do you have class next?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think if you have next class, we'll stop at this point so that you can continue your class for the next after some time. Shall we exit now?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you,
Take
sir.
care. Take care. Bye bye. Take care
Bye,
of yourself.
sir.
Take care. Take
Bye,
care.
sir. Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Bye. Take care.
ರೇಣುಕಾ CS ಐತ್ ನೀವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗ
ಯಾವ್ದೈತಿ?
History ಐತೆ.
ಹಾ
ಯಾವ್ದೈತಿ?
CS ಅಲ್ಲ ಸಾರಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. ನಾಗರಾಜ್ ನಮ್ಗಿದು ಇತ್ ನೋಡ CS.